Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember a defensive lineman from the Arizona Cardinals in 2006, that is him right there.
never seen this guy so happy.
Well, again, that's what happens when Z enters the room and changes clothes.
Yeah, you're right.
That's Bertram Berry, everybody. If you guys know who he is.
Yep, Bertrand Berry goes by Tito, goes by Curtis, goes by Alex, goes by JD,
Chase, Dustin, Martinez.
Yeah, but his name's
Elon.
Yeah, Elon. That's a new one, and probably the newest one is probably Martinez. That's probably his newest nickname.
Yeah, Martinez. No, what was I calling him? What was I calling him there? I feel like that there was something I came up with that was like that we could have considered a new name. What the heck was that?
Guy, I don't think I remember.
I can't remember either.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. We got JD, Dicko.
Just my dog has about 25 nicknames.
Yeah, and sometimes there's just too many to remember. But I swear there was one that I called him that had potential to maybe take over, or not take over, but had potential to add to the list. But I can't remember what it was.
Well, End's back from Florida.
Yep.
I mean, we're not gonna get into it.
Yeah. He's back in his house after being homeless.
Yeah. Again, not gonna get into it.
Not gonna get into it. Z was homeless for 5 days while I was down there. So.
And was down here for Hurricane Milton, which and said he thought, well, and what'd you say? You thought the end of the world was coming.
Yeah, me.
You thought a tsunami was going to come to Orlando.
See, that's what I was being told.
Yeah, sorry, that's what you were told. So
that's what I was being told. That
what are your thoughts?
World was ending, World War II was repeating itself, and a possible tsunami from Taiwan was coming.
So, I'm not gonna get into it. We stayed 4 nights in a hotel, which is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
We stayed 4 nights in a hotel. Didn't have any damage, if any of you guys are wondering. Hurricane Milton, at least in Orlando, wasn't much. So it shut down pretty much our plans for a couple days because nothing was open. We couldn't really go anywhere, so we sat in the hotel. We had terrible service at one of the restaurants.
We did.
Don't even get me started on that. So
an hour to get food, half an hour to get water, half an hour to get a check.
Yeah, half an hour to get. So put all that time together. Half an hour to get water, half an hour to get a check, 1 hour to get your food.
It's 2 hours. That's 2 hours in total to get everything. Yeah.
So
it's rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. We made up for some lost time.
And got back.
Yep.
Yeah. And got back home a couple days ago, and so now here we are. So back for episode. I think this is 64. Episode 64.
Yep,
and we're gonna jump right into it because the hat that N has on is going to be the main talking point. And I think we all can agree that the Steelers are not making the right decision, and we won't be seeing this dance anytime soon. And again, in case you guys are wondering what this is from a sports bar, and this guy's doing the gritty, and here comes another girl face to the ground.
Yeah, has no idea how to do it.
Doing it was good vibes there.
Yeah, it was good vibes, but there was somebody behind me over there at the other bar that was just having a disaster of a night. You know who that is? Guy's holding his head all night.
I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, but it was a good night. It was a good time. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about this logo for this video. So for those who are on the Who Are These Guys channel, welcome. For those who are coming from my channel, as you guys are going to see this video as well, thank you guys for your support and tuning in. Z, you said that you would think everybody would agree. Well, here's the thing. Z, I still don't think he recovered from that night. That's incredible, truly.
Steelers fan that was at the sports bar with us on Sunday night.
That's truly an incredible
on Sunday night against Dallas.
Incredible moment. Yeah.
Yeah, he was screaming the whole night. Absolutely gone.
Yeah, he was gone for sure.
Absolutely gone.
Yep.
Uh, guy, don't think I saw somebody drink more in that sports bar.
Yeah, he was trying to enjoy himself, but he couldn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
Z and I are going to get in this discussion, and Z, I'm going to tell you right now, there's people out there that are okay with this.
Yep.
There's people okay with this.
Yep. Yep.
There is. I've seen on X. I've listened to people. There's people that are okay with it, and I'll start first because this is going to be on our channel, and this is also going on my channel. And there might be people who are from my channel that are okay with this, and that's okay if you feel like that. I was not able to make the unofficial Steelers podcast the other day with Daniel. So him and I will be back next week, either on my or his channel. I listened to some of the things Daniel said. So Daniel, if you're watching, shout out to you. He wasn't wrong in those things, and I understand it. I'm going to give my side as into why I do not agree with this possible decision of Russell Wilson starting Sunday night and possibly moving forward over Justin Fields. My reasoning why, and whether you're a Steeler fan watching this or you're not, I feel like most people who are in the national media don't agree with this. I do not agree with this move because for a few reasons. You are a 4-2 ball club that was very close to being 5-1, and both your losses were by 3 points. And by subtracting Justin Fields from your starting lineup, you are taking away the guy that has been most effective in your offense. And I will go a little deeper in terms of certain context I understand before anybody jumps the gun on certain aspects of the past game. I understand. We will get to that. But with Justin Fields possibly being pulled from the starting lineup, it speaks a few things to me. Number one, this was never a quarterback competition to begin with. Number two, Mike Tomlin is very loyal to experienced veterans. Number three, this is something that can really make or break this season. And I see disaster Z written all over this, and I will go over what that disaster is going to look like, in my opinion, on Sunday night. So, with that being said, I do not agree with this decision because you are taking away the guy that has 10 total touchdowns on the season. You are taking away the aspect of a running offense that is built to be that way. So now you are subtracting that. And we'll get into the pass game context in a little bit here, but you're also taking away development from this 25-year-old quarterback. And this quarterback does not have a strong offensive line to be behind right now. That entire right side is gone for the season. He has a center that is now going to be injured. And he has, outside of George Pickens, 0 wide receivers. And if you go and look back at the film, yes, there are plays where there are open wide receivers and Justin Fields misses them, doesn't look their way, hits the check down, tucks and runs. Yes, I know that that's there. But at this point in the season, this is not week 1 or week 2. At this point in the season, heading into week 7, you are getting closer to the halfway point of the season. At this point, Justin Fields, the Steelers should be desiring to develop this quarterback and see what they have in him this year and going into next season before heading into 2026. This Justin Fields experiment should be 2 years. And now that you're taking that out, and that is
Hold on.
what?
It's like, sorry to interrupt you while you're middle of
Yeah,
this, but
yeah.
because as I, as you talk about it, obviously I try to find things to pull up.
I mean, see, that is quite frankly what Sunday night might look like.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll just have that up for a second while you continue.
Yeah, we'll have it
talking.
up
All
for
right,
a quick second. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I love it. That's freaking funny. I mean, see, that might be the ride we're all on Sunday night.
Yeah, and so I mean, just strap in.
Just strap in. I mean, I'm ready prepared. I'm ready prepared. I'll give my prediction by the end of this video. Like I said, this is going on my channel as well for my viewers.
I hope they like this.
Yep. Yep. So you guys can let me know in the comments section your guys' opinion and if you agree with me or not. If you don't, it's okay. But as we keep this up, as we keep this up, really what I'm saying is that I think taking away Justin Fields at this point in the season is a mistake. I think that it needs to be a focus on his development. I think it needs to be a focus on what you have in him this season heading into next season at this point. My original my original thought going the season was Russell Wilson starting. And yeah, it's time to take this down. Zeke can't even keep himself straight.
Oh my god, it's freaking hilarious, dude.
See, if that's how Sunday night is, that's gonna be a reality. That meme's come to life.
God. Continue. Go ahead.
Yep. So if Russell Wilson was healthy to start the season, I was all on board of him starting and Fields sitting behind him, hitting the reset, learning, developing on the side. I think that was something that he lacked and probably needed after his time in Chicago. Throughout the first 6 weeks, he's had a 6-game sample size with the Steelers, okay? Hasn't been pretty, but it hasn't been bad. He hasn't done anything to warrant him being benched. The Steelers are 4-2. The defense, obviously, 3 or 4 out of those 6 games have been very strong defensively. But I think when you look at Justin Fields' body of work, the Steelers are trying to run a run-first offense. Justin Fields is a huge part in that, number one. So now you're taking that away. Number two, this guy does not have a lot of talent in his wide receiver core right now. And the Steelers, we all can agree, need to go get another guy, 100%. The Steelers got a good guy in Dante Jackson out of the Deontay Johnson trade, but they didn't really have many backup plans. Ayuk fell through, Devontae Adams fell through, is what it is. You can still go get a guy. But he's also behind a banged-up, injured offensive line that was supposed to be a young but positive part as the season went on, and it still can at certain positions, but it's not going to fully see that this season. So now you're taking that aspect away in terms of Justin Fields' mobility and being able to be a guy that's able to move behind a collapsing offensive line. In terms of his passing, I understand that this is the main focal point as into why people are okay or suggesting why he's being taken out because the pass game is not alive. I can agree with that. I know that 150 yards passing a game is not going to cut it most weeks. I understand that. But Justin Fields also makes up for his offensive production with his legs. And again, you're a run-first offense. So with that being said, I understand the aspect of trying to get better at play action. Russell Wilson is better in that way. I understand Russell Wilson's better at reading a defense. I understand Russell Wilson's more precise as a passer. I get it. But Russell Wilson's entering the same position with a banged-up offensive line and a poor receiving core. And I just, in my opinion, going into it, I just don't see his ceiling being much higher than what we're getting. Can Russell Wilson maybe make better reads and make better throws and things like that, push the ball a little bit more? Sure. Justin Fields has a good arm, but he's not quite precise with his throws. You can watch that on film. But I just don't think that Russell Wilson is going to...
Steelers are getting a dog.
Yeah, they're getting a dog. I mean, if this was who we're getting, I'd be all for it.
Absolutely. But the issue is there's some fans that think they're getting this.
Yeah, and I don't really quite get it. So really to wrap up what I'm saying, and Zeke can kind of take over his opinion, is that I think Russell Wilson still has some juice left in the tank. I still think he can play moderately in the NFL still. But I just didn't agree with the quarterback change because to me, with where you're at as a team, it didn't warrant that to me that it needed to be done. And I think at this point in the season that what Justin Fields has done has been too valuable for this offense. And I think that it needs to be a focus on developing him heading into next year, seeing what you ultimately have. With Russell Wilson, he's 35. He's on a cheap 1-year contract. Like I said, I get the pass game aspect, but I just don't see the ceiling being that much higher with him. So I would much rather keep the young Justin Fields and continue to let him develop, get him another wide receiver, and take him into the rest of the season and into next year. And he can either be your future or he won't be, but you'll be able to kind of see what you have come the end of the year and into 2025. So that's why I don't agree with the move. It just doesn't make sense to me at this point in time in the season and with what the team's done. I think there's only one reason as to why Russell Wilson is potentially starting is the pass game aspect, and like that this probably just really wasn't a quarterback competition to begin with. Now, what I also will say is that Mike Tomlin did give Justin Fields some praise. Arthur Smith gave him a ton of praise today. Justin Fields came out today in a great interview, who was just upfront and honestly just said that if he played good enough, that this wouldn't be a conversation. He didn't play good enough. He's going to continue to work, put his head down, things like that. Justin Fields has always been high character, things like that, and I think a ton of people have respected his response. So I do think, and there was a report by Albert Breer last night that there are a lot of people in the Steelers organization that do not want Russell Wilson to start because they think he is going to limit their offense. And it's not a knock on Russell Wilson. Like I said, I still think he can play decent football still. But with the way the current team's constructed, with the way the season's gone, with the way the team has performed, Justin Fields, there's no reason to take him out. He hasn't done anything as into switching him, taking him out, anything like that. I think he needs to continue to play, continue to progress, continue to develop him, bring him another wide receiver, and take him into next year, surround him with good talent, and then you can go from there. That's just my opinion, Z. I know Z agrees. I know that there's a lot of people out there that agree with me, and there's people out there that are interested to see Russell Wilson. There's people out there that want to see more of a passing attack. And listen, I get it. I understand that. I respect that. I would be lying to say if I didn't have a level of interest in seeing Russell Wilson in the black and gold, seeing what he can do, 100%. But I wanted that as the season began, not as we're in getting close to the middle part of the season where you're already 4-2, where Fields has been your most effective guy, where I think that they need to continue to commit to him, go get another guy, blah, 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 blah. So that's just my opinion. You guys can let me know in the comment section. I'll let Z take away and give his opinion.
All right. Well, I think as your people on your channel might. I'm not gonna say they roll their eyes. I'm not gonna say anything. They're probably like, "Oh, great, here comes a Ravens fan throwing their input." Well, I probably know more than you, so here we go. Okay.
Yep.
First of all, this could be interesting matchup on Sunday night with Aaron Rodgers. I love how Devontae Adams is now healthy enough to play. Guy gets traded now he's healthy.
Yep. The hamstring's healed. Z.
So this is going to be a test for Russell Wilson. Jets are going to be hot. Everyone's going to be watching. Yeah, the Devontae Adams trade. Everyone's talking about this week. This video is not about the Jets. And this video, I have to instantly throw a Lamar Jackson comparison to this. Tell me what's different. Not only, I'm not even referencing their play styles, but tell me what's different in the scenario of what Lamar was at the beginning of his career and what Justin Fields is at his career right now. Runs a lot, gets a positive record. People have concerns that somewhere down the season he's going to have to throw the ball and they're not confident in it. It's the exact same thing that I heard every single season with Lamar up until this point. So the issue with Fields and what fans on the Steelers side are not going to understand, at least the ones that do agree with the decision of putting Russell Wilson in, is that unless you don't view Justin Fields as unless you don't think Justin Fields is going to be the future, Russell Wilson should not be starting at all for the rest of the season. Because if you're a Steelers fan, you're like, oh yeah, I'm pretty confident Justin Fields being the future. But let's throw Russell Wilson out there for the rest of the season, and then we'll just bring Fields back next year. Right. The problem you have with that is, one, a delay in development, because we all know Justin Fields not a polished quarterback, even those 4 years in his career. And it's not going to help anything by putting him on the bench and now bringing in Russell Wilson that we all have respect for, and now bringing in Russell Wilson who could play well. And next thing you know, Justin Fields is not going to see the field at all. And then we get into a whole different part of the conversation where it's like, oh, well, what if Russell Wilson does play well? Then they decide to bring him back next season. It's like, we're not going to get into that part just because we can't predict the future.
Yeah, honestly, my head hurts with that conversation.
But again, the compare to Lamar when he came in his rookie year for Flacco, and the Ravens went like 6-1. Remember in that playoff game where the Ravens were struggling and the fans were calling for Joe to come in?
Yeah, he was getting booed.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's really no difference here. The difference here is that the Steelers have a 4-2 record. They're playing solid ball, even though, yeah, maybe they're not playing the best opponents. That doesn't matter at the moment. 4-2. They're tied for the division lead. I can't even fathom the move. I don't even understand why
No.
you would go from a guy that you think is the future to a guy that's a bridge quarterback at this point of his career. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it. I'm sorry, no disrespect.
Yeah.
So, and at this point, I'm throwing a strong opinion on it, and Fields is not the future of the Steelers. He is not because if that was the case, this guy wouldn't be getting benched. Mike
Right.
Tomlin would commit to him. I don't know if this is a decision on Arthur Smith either, but especially Mike Tomlin would commit to this young man.
Mhm.
The fact that I don't want to say giving up because we don't know if Fields is going to be the backup for the rest of the season. But I completely could not agree with it. Could not agree with it anymore. I kind of you kind of got to feel for the guy. This is the predicament they put themselves in when they brought both of these quarterbacks onto the roster. Both of them want to
Mhm.
play. Both of them want to win. You got to respect it. But
Mhm.
honestly, I mean, again, who would you rather have out there? Would you rather have a quarterback who is athletic, fast, has a good arm, has some dumb decision making, but that's the part of developing? I know Tomlin hasn't seen that since freaking the early then, and probably the last time he did see that was with Kenny, Pickett, and that was just miserable.
Yep.
So who knows? Maybe he's a little petrified from freaking Kenny Pickett because Kenny was awful. Kenny,
Yeah.
Kenny never developed.
Yeah.
Guy threw 6 touchdowns last season. I can do that.
Yeah. That was bad. It was really bad.
So I
And
don't,
it's
I don't,
yeah. Good.
no, I'm just putting my conclusion on it. I don't agree with it. Um, I like Russell Wilson as a player. I just don't know how he fits the offense. I don't know how he's going to make the offense better. I think it's going to be just quick throw city.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I,
agree.
I think Russell Wilson's definitely still a mobile quarterback. I'm not saying he's stationary,
Yeah.
but I don't think any defense right now is going to be scared to go up against the Steelers' offense.
No, and it's definitely going to be quick throw check downs, probably a lot, Z, because he's a guy that's taken so many sacks. He doesn't have the escape ability Fields has. They're going to want him to get rid of the ball very quick.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I don't, again, I don't see the recipe here. The people out there throwing out there that Russ is going to bring more to the pass game or more to the play action aspect of the game. Like, okay, you might not be wrong, but I don't think it's that high of a ceiling, number one. Number two, again, you have such a injured, banged up offensive line. You have bad pass protection. Really, what is he ultimately going to bring you outside of maybe a few deep balls, a little bit of play action, some quick throws? Like, I don't know. I don't think that he's going to bring that much. And I think that if Russ does start on Sunday and they move forward with him, I don't think like he's going to be a train wreck. I think that he can keep him afloat, but I think it's just going to waste because I don't really see him being back here next year. And I would much rather put the stock in the 25-year-old quarterback that's accounted for freaking 10 of your touchdowns this season and try to develop him more. I mean, really, Arthur Smith came out today praising Justin Fields. It seems like to me he would rather have Justin Fields in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think Justin Fields has been handicapped, Z. I think they don't want him to turn the ball over. Tomlin's treating him like a QB2.
That's
And
part of it.
he's handicapped.
Yep.
So I truly believe that as well. And it's so if you're a Steeler fan and you're looking forward to Russ and you think that you're okay with this decision for the short term, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's the way you feel. You're entitled to that. But I don't agree. And I've stated all my opinions and all the reasons as to why I don't agree right here. I think Wilson can keep him afloat, but I was a lot more interested seeing him to start the season than I am now.
Yeah, and we all know that Justin Fields has the skill set to be a Pro Bowl quarterback, be an
Yeah,
All-Pro guy.
he's got the intangibles, everything. He does. He
He's
can
got
be
the
stupid out there
size.
sometimes.
Yeah.
mental lapses out there. He has accuracy issues. He does. There's no questions about that. The pass game hasn't really been quite alive, and some of that's on him and some of it's not. But he's bailing this offense out left and right. He's bringing a different dynamic than just the lack of passing there. It's not that this guy's a poor passer. Like look at some of his games in Chicago. He's had some pretty good passing games in Chicago. So the guy can throw the ball, but you just don't have the consistency that Mike Tomlin wants. And I understand that. Tomlin said he's been good, but don't get it mixed up with great. Listen, I get it. But I think that there's too much that Fields has given them. And at this point in the season, you're heading into week 7. It just doesn't make sense to me at this point. It doesn't. He hasn't done anything to warrant that. The team where they're at doesn't make any sense. I'd much rather just commit to him this year and next year and develop the guy and see what you have. And if not, you move on.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that's the part of maybe the head coach and part of the fan base that doesn't want to go through that. But I don't know how many times it could have been said before the season started. That's the growing pains.
That's the growing pains. You're eventually going to have to do it. Are we just getting veteran Reynolds? Yep. Are we doing that for as long as Mike Tomlin's here? We're just getting veteran Reynolds.
Broncos are doing it with Bo Nix. What's the difference there? They have, I think, almost the same record as the Steelers.
Yeah.
So it just like,
and there was a guy that commented to me, Z, on X on Twitter the other day. I don't know if you saw it or not.
And ends all over that with both comments.
We've been active. We've been quite active. But I was commenting with him, and he mentioned about Fields being in year 4 and still not being able to be where he needs to be as a passer, pretty much. And I'm like, were you saying that when Lamar was just starting out? That Lamar's in year 3, Lamar's in year 4. Blah 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 blah. He's never going to just give up on the guy. He's never going to look how far Lamar's come as a passer. Z, is Lamar the best passer in the league? No, but he is a much better passer the last 2 seasons than he has been his entire career.
Yep.
Lamar's not a running back anymore. The running back jokes were valid from 2018 to probably about 2021.
And still throws him out there.
Yeah, I definitely haven't said it in quite a while. I respect him a lot for what he's done, and that he came to the point of needing to become an NFL pocket passer and not just be legs first. And Justin Fields needs to be that same way. So I said that to him. Okay, if we're going to say Lamar from 2018 to 21, maybe 22 in that regard, we just going to quit on that? We just going to quit on Baker Mayfield in terms of when he was in Carolina or the Rams? Oh, the guy's trash. He's never going to be an NFL starter ever again. Look at now. He's leading the league in NFL touchdown passes. So we can go on and on about a list like that, or saying guys in year 3, year 4, oh, they're not going to count for this. Oh, it's too late for this. It's too late for that. Like, dude, Fields still accommodates for a lack of a pass game. He still does. It's not consistent. It's there at times, but it's not there at other times. And yeah, it's frustrating, and he needs to get that. But that's why I think you need to commit to that, because you're eventually going to have to freaking do it. So I don't know. That's all I have to say on it. In terms of predictions, because we're getting on close to a half hour here. In terms of predictions, Z, I want your prediction real quick on the Sunday night game.
Well, Sunday night game is going to be interesting. As I was trying to pull up, I know this isn't Lamar Jackson video, but just tell me the difference in watching this, and do you notice the difference between how he played in that first start against the Bengals and how Justin Fields plays now? There's not. There's really not. Look, Josh back goes. And those were the days of the running back jokes, which were valid, and now they're invalid.
Yep.
But again, I just can't reiterate the part more. Like I said, I like both quarterbacks. I don't dislike either of them. I hope both of them do well. But I think anybody with a smart brain can agree that Fields should be the guy starting.
100%. 100%.
Now, in reference to Sunday. God, I don't know how this game good. And I honestly don't know how this game is going to go, because you have the Jets with this whole debacle, and Aaron Rodgers runs the team. Might as well call him LeBron.
Yep.
And he's got Devontae Adams on the team now, which we'll talk about next video. And then obviously you got the Steelers with this quarterback change. So who knows how this game's going to go? Honestly, who knows? You have 2 good defenses on both sides. That's not going to change. 2 really good defenses. It'll probably be a defensive game. I am going to pick the Jets to win, just because I think they're going to come in like, they're going to come in feeling good. Devontae, Aaron Rodgers, they're probably going to show them on TV the entire night. But I think I honestly can't wait to watch them connected again. I think just right off the jump, they're going to be connected. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's gonna be like a 10 catch, 150-yard game for Devontae Adams, but um, I think they're just going to hit right where they left off. In
Yeah.
reference to the Steelers side, I don't know what I'm going to see from Russell Wilson. Even though we kind of talked about it's going to be check down city, Russell will throw a better deep ball than what Fields can. He puts better touches on his pass than Fields can. The question is that do the Steelers have the receivers that can make those plays other than George Pickens?
No.
So I'm gonna pick the Jets to win. I picked the Steelers to win last couple of weeks. I'm gonna pick the Jets to win. Not really gonna give a score. I think it might be like a 7-point game. I just don't know if the Steelers will be able to keep up with the offensive firepower that the Jets have on their team now.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you. I agree. I'm picking the Jets to win this game as well. But here's what I want to say real quick about why I think this game is going to be a disaster. I think I'm not going to predict that this game is going to be a disaster in the sense of like it's like this big blowout, and it could be. But with this quarterback possible change looming, I could really see this being a disaster in the sense where the Steelers lose bad, and the fact that they switch quarterbacks, and even if Fields was playing, I would still pick the Jets to win, by the way. But I could see this being a disaster in the sense toward Mike Tomlin and then toward maybe, I don't want to say the locker room, but you'll maybe have some things out there that people will make assumptions on. But if the Steelers lose bad, and if Russell Wilson doesn't really play that well, I mean, Z, you realize how many people are going to be kind of coming at Mike Tomlin
Yep.
for doing that? And that's why I really kind of see disaster ahead, because you're making a quarterback change halfway through the season when you truly don't need to do that. And now you're facing a hungry Jets team that is desperate for a win, and they just went out and got Devontae Adams. Like, to me, Z, this speaks Jets all over it for Sunday. This is Jets. I don't have any faith in this team to win, not because I think they suck, but it just speaks Jets win big all over for me. Desperate for a win, hungry. You have Adams there now. The Steelers are switching quarterbacks, which has been a topic of controversy throughout the week. You have a banged up offensive line with a good Jets pass rush. You don't have many playmakers on the offense. So to me, it just speaks Jets win big. I don't think it's going to be like this nasty blowout, but I think that they're going to win pretty well, maybe by like 2 scores. I'm not going to say Russ is going to.
Why are the Steelers on Sunday night again? Why are they on Sunday night again?
Yeah, why on Sunday? I don't know.
Just
I don't
their
know. I don't make
just
the
their
schedule.
just their last week.
Yeah, last week. They're on it 2 weeks ago, and then they play Monday night next week.
God.
Yeah. But they're wearing their throwback, so at least that's a W. But with that being said, we're going Jets. I'm going to say Jets win by a good margin, 2 scores, 14 points. Don't think this is going to look good for Mike Tomlin after the game. I don't think Wilson's going to play bad, but I just don't think that he's going to be that effective in this game. I could see the Steelers giving him like a 2-game leash, this game and the Monday night game, and then going into the bye. But I think it's just a decision that can really backfire and cause a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm gonna leave it. And even if Fields was starting, I was still gonna pick the Jets to win. And I truly feel like if Fields did start, it was a lose-lose anyway. Because if they lose, then that just squares Russ to play Monday night.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like Russ was going to play regardless, to be honest. But yeah, Z and I don't agree with it. You guys can let us know your comments in the comment section on your thoughts on Fields and Russell Wilson, who should start, who shouldn't start. If you agree with it, that's your opinion. But we don't. I think we made some valid points on why we don't agree with it. Rooting for Justin Fields, man. I think that he has the ability to be the future here. But it's just something I'm scared that it's going to backfire, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to root for Russ. I'm a fan of his. It's just something I'm just not behind right now at this point in time. So I'm not saying Fields been great, but I think that he's been good enough where the team is at where they're at, and I think that you need to commit to some development on him. So That's all I'm saying on that. But other than that, Z and I will be back. We're going to talk about the Devontae Adams trade. We're going to talk about the Amari Cooper trade a little bit as well to the Bills. And that's what we're going to end it on. So we have a high possibility of seeing that Sunday night. Thanks, everybody.